You're the northern wind, sending shivers down my spine. You're like falling leaves in an autumn night. You're the lullaby that's singing me to sleep. You are the other half, you're like a missing piece.
New album's called Little Helm. Drops June 7th. The track is Northern Wind from City and Color. Dallas Green here in studio. It's Cybulski Company. James Cybulski also hanging out here is Boyd Devereaux. Having fun yet, buddy?
Yeah. No, I'm psyched to. I actually got the pleasure of meeting Dallas a few years ago. We did a music and sports panel at North by Northeast with Jim Cuddy and Dave Hodge, and so I've obviously been always keeping up with his music and stuff. So I'm pretty excited for the new record for sure.
Yeah. And he was asking you some music tips too, because you play as well.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. I hack a little bit on the guitar or whatever and get my hands on, but yeah, we were just discussing. I guess a guitar player in Dallas's band, but an amazing talent in his own right, Danny Romano, and we happened to be at the same show checking his set out the other day, and yeah, that's another great record everybody should check out too.
It's called Sleep Beneath the Willow. It's like just beautiful, like old school country, like George Jones style country. Like he is like. It's funny, like being on tour with him and just like having him be one of my friends. Like I feel like I'm sitting with like one of Canada's greatest songwriters, but nobody realizes it yet.
Kind of guy who just flies under the radar.
Yeah, he's just like a 26-year-old kid who can play anything you put in front of him, and he's just one of those kids that I am actually sort of frustrated being his friend because he's so good at everything he does. You know,
I think it's worked out pretty well for you too, guys.
Yeah, but we're but you know what I mean. Like he just
he just does it all. Designs, paints, and I can't stop playing that record. It's got to play it once a day, and he was alongside you there at the Junos, wasn't he, for the Neil tribute?
Exactly, yeah.
Now speaking of the Neil tribute, Devo's walked in here today. Devereaux's got a Neil Young shirt because you just saw Neil. You just saw him in Motown, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. I would love to see him at Massey, but saw him in Detroit at the old Fox Theater, which is just gorgeous.
That's a phenomenal theater. That's right up there.
See him solo there. It was good vibes. Everybody's crowd is freaking out, hanging on every word, and so I picked up this tee, Neil.
Yeah, the hitchhiker. Look at that right there.
That's wrong.
Yeah, no, that's I remember Dave Hodge told me right away as soon as that disc came out, he emailed me, and anybody who knows Dave Hodge knows that he is one of the great music gurus in this country.
Yes.
And Hodge emailed me right away. It's like, you got to get this disc. This is like as essential Neil. And so you had a chance at the Junos, Dallas, to perform Old Man in front of Neil.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a shot that kind of cuts over to Neil as you're starting to strum along, and it's just, here's the master kind of giving you that nod of approval. Probably a little different than one of your typical shows. What was that like? Were you scared or like nervous at all?
I mean, I don't know if those are the words. Like, I don't know if there's a good word to describe how I felt, Like when Jim Cuddy emailed me to be like, here's the 3 songs you can pick from, and I picked Old Man, and then he was like, okay, now you need to make it 2 minutes long, and I was like, you're telling me that I have to somehow condense Neil?
Yeah, you can't rush perfection.
Yeah, and the whole my favorite parts about Old Man are like the instrumental parts that like he gets in there, like there's like a bar of instrumentation before the chorus even comes in. You know what I mean? And all that stuff is like the best part. So I was like, geez, I got to get rid of all that stuff. So that was already nerve-wracking enough, and then like I was telling you earlier, like there wasn't a shortage of people reminding me that he was going to be there, and he was going to be sitting right there, and like I said earlier, like I don't get nervous that much just because I've been singing and playing since I was a kid, and it's like the thing I really love to do. But walking out on the stage, like knowing he was going to be there. And he was the only one in the audience of all the people of like the songs that we were all doing there, like as the tribute. I mean, Robbie was there because we did the band song.
Yes.
But like, yeah, it was, I mean, it's one of those moments where it's like, I call them the slap you in the face moment, because 10 years ago, someone told me I would be singing Old Man in front of Neil Young. I would have slapped them in the face.
It's unfortunate that it took me 35 years to finally see The Last Waltz, but NHL referee Dave Jackson played the Blu-ray copy for me last year, and it just, I mean,
It's
if you haven't
unbelievable.
seen that movie
Oh,
yet,
is it
put it on the bucket list because
It's great.
that is probably the best music film you'll ever see. Talk to me a little bit about Little Hell, and I mean, obviously we just played a track, Northern Wind, which we're talking about Neil here a little bit, but I always think that live from Massey Hall disc that Neil did, and it's just so scaled back with just the vocals and an acoustic or maybe a little piano. But I mean, there's almost some similarities when you look at Northern Wind as well. Is that kind of the flavor that you go with on this one?
Well, it's kind of all over the place, I guess. I think a lot of people for the last couple of years since I've been doing both, like Alexis on Fire and City in Color, I think a lot of the talk has been about like the two sides of Dallas Green,
Whereas like Two-Face, right?
Yeah, but whereas it's just like I happened to write some songs that were quieter, so I put them out as City in Color, but with this record, I sort of came up with like a handful of both. So there's songs that, like Northern Wind that are just me and a guitar and like a little bit of cello that comes in, and then there's songs like Fragile Bird, which is sort of like a fuzzed out rock song. So I guess in that regard, I am sort of inspired by the way Neil has done his career, where he sort of just, if he feels like putting out an acoustic record, he will. If he feels like putting out a record of just him without a loud electric guitar, he'll do it. And I kind of feel that way, like if I write a song, at this point in my life, if I think it's a good song, I'm going to put it out,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I don't want to sort of like obey what people might think is the mold that I should be putting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because people think it should sound a certain way, I don't think I should listen to that.
So let me ask you this then. So which is more Dallas Green, and which one is Bizarro Dallas? Alexis or City in Color?
I see. Like that's what I don't think there is one. I think that's just. I've always been that way.
How you roll.
Yeah, I've always been into like aggressive, loud music, but I've also always been into melody and quiet music too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the way you should be with music. Is you should be open-minded, because there are so many good bands and good songs out there that to pin yourself to just one style is like you're just missing out on so much.
It's good to be diverse.
I think so.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more on that.
It's like sports.
One. Yes. And speaking of diverse, old school wrestling guy, who's your favorite?
Geez, that's a tough one, because I went through so many stages, like
NWO guy.
Yeah, I was really affected by the Undertaker for a long time, just because it was such a great.
He scared kids.
Such a great character, but I was always a big fan of the Hitman, though.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when he was a heel too. I loved him when he was a villain. Like when the Hart Foundation were villains.
They were bad guys.
It was great.
Sure. I read somewhere that you were a Razor Ramon guy too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, think that's on
He's
my
in
Wikipedia
bad shape
page.
right now.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah. It is on your Wikipedia, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him. He's not my favorite of all time. You know who I really loved? I loved the Berserker.
Huss.
And the grabbing of the hand.
Yeah.
I never understood why he did it, but I loved the Berserker.
I was at the TV taping when he tried to stab the Undertaker and the sword stuck into the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Kind of like, where's Jim Ross to kind of really do that properly?
Do you remember when Papa Shango made the Ultimate Warrior throw
you're
up?
going with that. Yeah.
How good was that?
Devo remembers that
Yeah.
clearly.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Who
I
doesn't
hated it
remember?
was
It's like,
the,
what's happening there?
Yeah.
It was the old animated cartoon with like Andre.
Oh,
Hulk,
yeah.
Yes.
Ricky the Dragon. That's when I was.
Andre the Giant, correct me if I'm wrong here. Andre the Giant was born on this day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? That's right. Oh, Gareth is just confirming that in the background there. He's floating all around.
I wonder when he filmed. Do you think it was his birthday when he was filming The Princess Bride?
That is the best acting performance by a wrestler, I think,
Yeah.
on
Awesome.
screen.
Yeah.
On screen.
With
Listen,
Mandy Patinkin.
yes.
He was also in that. Yeah.
What was his character's name? Indigo Montoya?
Indigo Montoya.
You killed my father.
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have a movie talk one day.
Oh, we'll break it down.
Seriously.
Will you come back and visit us again sometime?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Before we let you go, though, I mean, dude, do you mind just picking up the guitar and
Yeah, okay.
picking a little something for us?
I'll take these off.
I mean, why not, eh, Devo?
Yeah.
I mean, why not have,
Little treat on this sunny day.
I'm
Celebrate.
do an acoustic version of that song, Fragile Bird.
nice.
Okay.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Dallas Green from City in Color,
Am I
right
playing-
here
am I playing
on
the whole
Cybulski
song?
Company.
No. I'll just stop it. I'll stop. You guys give me a signal. And I'll
All
just,
right.
Yeah.
We got a couple
Tell me when
minutes,
you're
buddy.
fading me out.
a fever dream, yeah. It brings a night terror to harm this fragile bird. She speaks in tongues, her words they come undone, yeah. And with a wayward mind, she struggles through